Oh no! What? Why would you? Generic intro and the deck goes movie here, back with another kill count. Today we're doing You're Next, which is a movie I have never heard of or seen or anything about. I'm guessing it's a horror movie given that the text or the font is basically dripping in blood and definitely looks like it was carved into something. But this is going to be an interesting kill count. The last one I did was Cult of Chucky, which was the newest Chucky movie that was released. Now there's like a TV show or something. You check my reaction to that video. I'll leave it right up there. Also link down below in the description. It'll also be in a place on my channel with all my other kill count reactions going in chronological order. Also shout out to the patrons because they get the videos a day early, get a lot of time of a paywall channel. Could not do this if it was not for them. I do read all your comments whether you're a patron or not, so definitely leave some down below. But next one's going to be The Mist, which is another movie I haven't seen. I've watched Nostalgia Critics video on it. I've seen the ending. I think everybody knows the ending to The Mist, but I'm not actually sure what the kill count was. And then Trick or Treat, no idea. Alien, haven't seen that. Haven't seen any review of that or anything, but I haven't even heard of You're Next, so this is going to be really, really interesting. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright, and at 5 o'clock today, I'm playing Undertale, doing the G run, fighting Saints, and I will be beating them
tally
today.
up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James,
and hopefully I don't break my desk
You're Next,
again.
Slasher released in 2011. You're Next is a home invasion film written by Simon Barrett and directed by Adam Wingard, two guys who have made a bunch of other movies together, including VHS, The Guest, and the 2016 Blair Witch. Although there have been plenty of home invasion movies in the horror genre, You're Next is a memorable entry because of the gruesome kills, the dark humor, and most of all, the amazing badassery of final girl Erin, played by Sharni Vincent. For anyone who's ever watched a horror movie and wanted the characters to be more competent or intelligent, this is your movie. Erin is ridiculously resourceful and level-headed, and watching her try to survive this situation and save the clueless family she's stuck with makes for an excellent
The clueless family.
Like I said before, this movie's got a bunch of really memorable, gory kills. So let's get to them.
Okay.
The movie begins with some fucking. Don't get too excited though, because the girl Talia sure isn't. She's walking off her disappointment when the motion sensor lights outside turn on, so maybe she should be more concerned. But instead, she just plays some tunes. The song she puts on
Why
is
would you
called
put on
Looking
music?
for the
You would
Magic
want to
by
listen.
White Tilly, and it's a motif throughout the film, but I can't play it in this video because of copyright. Meanwhile, Mr. Casanova himself, Eric Harson, finishes hosing himself off and goes to his bedroom to find a message on his window reminding him of what movie he's in. It's written in the blood of
that
Talia,
font.
whose body he sees on the ground. I can't tell exactly what happened to her. Maybe a throat slit or some other wound to the head, but whatever it is, she did. And
is there somebody like outside of the house doing
a masked assailant who grabs him by the throat and raises a machete up for a powerful slash and an off-screen death that splatters blood all over the window. Oh, dude, you're messing up your own message. How's anyone supposed to read what it says now with all that extra blood?
Well, maybe they're not
next. Now we can start meeting the real characters in this movie. The parents of the main family are Paul and Aubrey Davison. Aubrey is played by Barbara Crampton, star of iconic horror films such as Reanimator and Chopping Mall. They're pulling up to this bomb-ass vacation home to prepare a party celebrating their 35-year anniversary with their family. Already headed to the party is Crispin, the middle son of the family, and his girlfriend Erin, who's meeting his family for the first time. She's a little nervous because his family is super well off since patriarch Paul just retired from a big-time defense contractor company. Later that night, while cleaning, Aubrey hears a crash upstairs. Instead of sticking around to get killed like most horror movie characters, she immediately heads outside to safety. Paul's a bit more investigative though, and goes upstairs to see if someone's there. But it turns out it's just Crispin, giving old Paul a bit of a jump scare. Or is it just Crispin, since a door creaks open after he and Paul go back downstairs.
Man, old house's
morning,
doors
Crispin comes downstairs to find Erin chatting with oldest brother Drake and his wife Kelly. Drake is suffering from an acute case of douchey older brother syndrome, wrestling with Crispin and calling him fat. Crispin gets further annoyed talking to his dad about a fellowship he didn't get because he hasn't been published, and admitting that he and Erin are suffering from some real money problems. Night comes, and with it the rest of the family, including sister Amy, who seems like a sweetheart, and her boyfriend Tariq, an artsy-fartsy scarfsy guy, as well as youngest brother Felix and his girlfriend
How many kids do they have?
We have our cast.
I just want you all to know how much it means to us that you're all here.
It means a lot to me too, Babs, because the acting in this movie is one of the things that sets it apart. These are all really talented actors playing very defined characters, and a lot of the casual conversation is improvised, so it ends up feeling very real. That's why
they improvise
is so great to watch, as you get a feel for each person and their relationships with the others around them. For instance, Felix and Z clearly see his family as some kind of joke, and Crispin and Erin are just trying to stay above it all. Drake won't let them though, because he pointedly asks them how they met and reveals to everyone that Erin was actually Crispin's TA. Drake voices his thoughts on the matter.
It's a little unprofessional.
What? DA?
What's that?
This breaks out into a heated family argument with lots of
TA.
wide-eyed yelling from Crispin until Tariq notices something that makes him get up and go towards the window.
Why is
As
the
the
one
Davisons
scarf?
continue their family feud, something flies through the window and the family turns around to find that Tariq has a new accessory to match that scarf. A crossbow bolts in the forehead. Fun
What?
fact, Tariq
What a
was played
shot.
by horror director Ty West, who's worked with all these guys a lot. A panic breaks out, and as the family screams and drops to the ground, more crossbow bolts fly into the room. We see the assailant aim one at Aubrey, but
Get away
instead
from the
it catches
windows.
Drake in the back,
Oh,
knocking
no.
him down. Erin is
Ow.
already proving herself to be effective, getting Aubrey down safely to the ground and trying to keep everyone else calm. Doesn't quite work on Kelly. When their cell phones won't work, Felix provides some useful information about cell phone jammers, surmising the attackers must be using one.
They're illegal, but you can get them on the internet for like $30.
Felix, you fucking lowlife.
What are you calling me a lowlife for, man?
Why do you know
I'm
that?
trying to help the situation.
Erin directs the Davisons to safety, having them use chairs as shields to run past the windows and stopping them from pulling the arrow out of Drake's back.
Why would
that
you
would
do
be bad news?
That'd
there.
be really
the family
bad.
tries to come up with a plan of action. Felix suggesting someone make
I
a
would
run
not be
for
up
a
against the
vehicle, and
door.
They have a brief argument over who should go.
I'm the fastest, but I got this fucking arrow like that. What does your shoulder have to do?
Yeah, no, you should not go anywhere. No, you could definitely. You know how hard it is to
It's
run
that
with
kind of
like
naturalistic
one arm?
black humor that really makes me enjoy
Like,
the movie so much. Erin tries to
it's
talk them
bad.
all into staying, but Amy says
It's
she
so
wants
hard.
to prove herself and help her family. Felix and Paul open the doors as Amy runs full
And
speed,
headshot.
ready to make a heroic dash, but instead she runs straight into a wire strung across the doorway. She falls to the ground, her throat gushing with blood, and lies there bleeding to death for a good long while as her parents and siblings scream watching her die. It's actually really effective the way Aubrey screams about her baby dying and Drake goes into shock at the sight of his dead sister. This movie's able to go from funny to emotional on a dime,
What?
all while keeping it real. This is that good shit, yo. Erin ain't got
This
time
is-
for tears. Instead, arming herself with a knife, making sure all the doors and windows are locked, and trying to
But
text
the
911.
windows, you
Crispin's
should
a
definitely
little
cover the
amazed by
windows.
it.
I've never seen you act like this before.
Oh, it's a unique situation.
It's
He'd
almost
be
like
even
she's
more
been through this
impressed if he saw
before.
what happened in the kitchen when an attacker punches through the window and grabs Erin. She uses her knife to stab the tiger masked man's arm and pin it to the wall. But as she's looking for something to finish the job with, he manages to get away. If Erin's on one end of the keeping it cool spectrum, Aubrey's on the opposite. So distraught that Paul has to take her upstairs and put her to bed. Yeah, good luck having
How are
sweet
you
dreams
able to
after seeing your
sleep?
daughter's throat open like a Ziploc bag. She doesn't actually have to worry about all that though, since from under the bed comes a wolf masked invader. She notices
So
him in
there's
the room
multiple
just in
people.
time for him to raise his machete and slash it down on her, giving us a grade A Barbara Crampton scream. When the rest of the family runs upstairs, they enter the room to find her dead on the bed, machete
And
lodged deep into her
wow,
skull.
they wrote that
Fifth
real
kill of the
fast.
movie. I think Wolfmaster
They must have
should
wrote it
copyright
before.
That font is perfect for bloody messages on the wall. Paul is obviously real messed up over his wife's death, so Kelly does
And
the
his
decent
daughter.
thing and covers up her body. Then she checks
Thanks.
under the bed for monsters and finds a giant loud jump scare as Wolfmask appears.
What do you mean
This
loud?
freaks her out so much she runs
Hopefully
straight
I don't
out
have to
the
blur
house.
anything.
Drake tries to follow, but gets a squirrel caught on the garrote wire, causing him to pull the bolt out of his back
That's
and then
bad.
faint from blood loss or shock or whatever.
Why was it
Kelly
that
runs through the woods
deep?
and doesn't notice when she runs past an attacker in a lamb mask. She exits frame left, pursued by a lamb. She gets to Eric's house, and since she's a big Dwight Tilley fan, she wants in on his one-man jam set. Little does
He's
she know,
not
he's just
alive.
a corpse on a couch.
Yeah.
Before she can figure it out, she turns around and gets punched by a lamb mask through the window.
Window,
It's actually
and then
kind
you're
of a
gonna
mean-spirited scene here that doesn't sit entirely well with me, as Kelly tries to crawl away and is casually pursued by the assailant. He allows her to discover Eric's body before slamming her through a
messed
glass
up.
table, then is all like, now watch this drive, and hacks into Kelly's skull. She's our 6th victim of the film, and at this point, the bodies are coming at a pretty steady rate.
Well, that looked like it
Takes a
was
breather
more
next to his
arms. He didn't
pale
get the
dead
hip
Eric,
rotation
one of
in
my
there.
favorite shots of the movie, since it looks like it could be the start to a really fucked up beer commercial. Back at the house, they
could.
drag Drake back inside, and Crispin agrees to make a run for it to a place he can safely call the cops from. He and Erin share a goodbye kiss, and then he hacks away the garrote wire and runs off. Erin takes charge once
Why
more,
is it-
directing
why is it
Felix
called
and Z
that?
to help her move Drake's body behind some curtains, and shooting down Felix's idea to hide in the basement.
Basement's a bad idea. They could just pull gas down the stairs and throw in a match.
She also
That's a
boils some
very
water
good
for later
idea.
use and grabs a handful of culinary weapons for everyone. A crash
Like,
through the window causes
she
her to
knows.
drop them all though, so she's unarmed when Tiger Mask invades the house with an axe in hand.
How many
He swings
people
it
are
down
there?
at her, but she dodges it and fights
job.
back with a foot to the crotch. Then
Oh!
immediately grabs a meat tenderizer and hits him with it in the back of his knee. Then,
Ah!
guys, Erin just goes fucking ham on this asshole, beating him in the back of the head until he's down. And
Yeah,
then doing
that's-
what we
that'll do
always
it.
want
That'll
our
do
horror
it.
movie characters to do, and making sure he's dead for real by tenderizing his skull into a little meat patty. Extra
Yeah,
rare.
no, he's not getting up from
Absolutely
that.
brutal and kind of a turning point for this movie, as the viewer and the other characters realize just how formidable Erin's going to be. She rips off the tiger mask to reveal the face of screenwriter Simon Barrett, but the characters don't know that, of course, and say
yeah,
they've never seen
some
this
random
guy.
guy.
Meanwhile, Paul has realized that whoever killed Aubrey is still in the house, so he heads upstairs armed with a knife to extract some justice. When Felix comes upstairs
That's not
to
gonna
check
go
on
well.
him, Wolf Mask comes from behind and slits Paul's throat with a machete. Paul stumbles around, gagging on his wound and reaching
This
out
is
to a
so
disgusted look at
dramatic.
Felix for help before finally falling to the ground and bleeding out to death, staring up at Felix and Z as he dies. They're pretty impassive.
the killer
about
was
his
right
death,
there.
about as impassive as Wolf Mask when he walks up next to them and stands there.
Really? You had to do that right in front of me?
Turns out Felix and Z are working with the killer. A fun twist to the movie that makes a rewatch really interesting as you start to read into all the looks they give each other. Meanwhile, Landmask discovers Tiger Mask's body. He starts huffing and puffing and blowing the table over, which is definitely not appropriate for his mask. How many times we gotta tell you to stay in character, Landmask? Aaron hears his temper tantrum from behind the door to the basement and arms herself with the tools she has on.
And she's going to,
her and starts
ruin all their plans.
Drake stumbles back into the movie, distracting Landmask long enough for Aaron to make a move, running out and stabbing him in the back with a screwdriver. He's able to get away, running out the front door to safety, and Aaron locks it behind him. Felix and Z join them and say that Paul's just upstairs taking a nappy nap. The four of them go to the basement and get more tools as weapons. And
they're gonna
lock
her in the basement.
Z how to make some Home Alone traps to ward off the invaders. Z asks her what we're all wondering.
How did you learn all this stuff?
Well, yeah.
I had kind of a weird childhood. I grew up on a survivalist compound.
Cool, yeah.
Okay.
Good enough for me. In the basement, Felix takes matters into his own hands by stabbing Drake in the stomach with a screwdriver. Felix takes the Canadian approach to murder.
I'm sorry.
But he's not too sorry.
It sounds very
stabbing
Canadian.
Drake with a bunch of different screwdrivers. Not only is Felix a slimy little kinslayer, he's also a big whiner while he does it.
Did you just die already? This is hard enough for me.
With over half a dozen tools in his torso, Drake does his little bro a solid and grants him his request, collapsing to the ground for kill number 9. Fun fact, Drake was played by Joe Swanberg, another director who's worked with all these guys a lot, including a segment
But
in
how
VHS.
are they going to like cover this up as
on
something?
Murder Action 2, raising one of those boards up to hit Aaron with, but Aaron turns around before she can seal the deal. Aaron then goes upstairs to check on Paul and finds him dead with an axe in his chest. Wolfmask tries to sneak up on her with a machete.
But she's gonna be a problem.
It ain't gonna work. She chucks her tenderizer at him, and when she misses, gets straight the fuck out of there by jumping through the second-story window. This chick is unstoppable, yo.
What
Even with
a
giant glass shard in her leg, manages to get up and run to safety in the woods, where she hides behind a tree and pulls the shard out in a kind of beautiful shot. She notices Landmask before he can get a crossbow shot off, so she manages to dodge the bolt and run off as he reloads. She gets back inside and hides behind the curtains to put a tourniquet around her leg. Landmask pursues her and is smart enough to peek inside.
I mean, you're like on the thumbnail, so you must be the important one.
But he doesn't see the second board she's placed closer to the window, so he steps right onto it, impaling his foot with a nail and howling in pain. Again, very unlike a lamb. Damn it,
that's
man.
an interesting
more
alarm.
People who will do this job and stay in character. The bastards upstairs hear his ruckus, and Felix sends Wolfmask down to inspect.
I believe this is what I'm paying you for.
Seems like he might be having some buyer's remorse, but Z comforts him and then tries to get freaky.
I want to fuck Dan's
What? Why would you
even say something like that?
Z gets mad because Felix's Tinder profile definitely said he was
Wait, isn't that where the
to his dead mom? Just
yeah, his mom is right there
on a dating app. Z. Felix goes downstairs and yells at the remaining attackers about how they're doing a shit job since he had to stab his own brother.
I mean, they look
Aaron
very
overhears,
professional.
So at least now she knows
so
what's going
far.
on here.
At the beginning, it
claps
looked
back at Felix, saying that
real
Tiger Mask was
intricate.
his brother. Felix chooses the perfect words to sympathize with him.
Man, she really fucked him up good, huh?
In the middle of gasping for breath, Felix promises he'll up his payment to $500,000 for Landmask and $300K for Wolfmask, and points out the only way he can pay them is if he survives and gets his inheritance, which was the whole plan here in the first
place. So it was.
Better be getting enough money to pay us.
Would I be doing this if I wasn't?
Just then, Aaron's phone goes off because of an emergency.
There's
message
no
from
way it's
911,
worth
and
it.
Wolfmask says he'll take care of it. When he opens the curtains, she jabs him in the throat and runs away, causing all the other assholes to give chase. But she tricks them after running out the front door by immediately going back inside the house through an open window. So when Felix, Z, and Wolfie run off after her through the forest, they don't know they're on a wild goose chase. Landmask lags behind the others though and notices the open window. As he peeks inside to see what's going on, Aaron stabs him in the head with a knife. He falls to the ground dead. No double tap from Aaron required.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, I feel like Aaron's over the hump here. I think Landmask was the scariest of all the assailants. Actually, I don't think she has anything to worry about, judging by that badass shot of her standing in the window. She sets up a trap in the doorway that'll cause the axe to
What is a Home Alone?
the front door. Kind of a bummer then when Wolfmask enters through the trap-free window. Aaron sees him and runs off, escaping into the basement, where she takes a log and knocks out all the lights down there. When Wolf follows, she distracts him by setting up a camera to repeatedly flash, blinding him as he approaches them. She jumps out and beats him to death with the log, which we mostly hear, since we can only see during the bursts of light from the camera. A fun and artful way to capture another kill.
Like, she's gonna be able to see and he won't be. Oh, that's wild.
Takes his shot but misses. He and Z are looking to finish this whole thing off, so she takes the crossbow with malevolent glee while he goes to his trunk to turn off the cell phone jammer and grab a knife. Stabby stabby. Z tries to be sneaky, but Aaron ambushes her and gets her in a headlock, or some other technical term that I'm sure people will yell at me for not using.
Is she the only person left?
To save Z, Aaron uses splash. It's not very effective.
It's not even hot, you dumb bitch.
Aaron uses the pot to beat down Z and kicks a door into Felix's head. But while she's strangling Z with her bare hands, Felix is able to get back up and stab her in the back. Aaron turns around and busts a blender pitcher over his face, then slams the blender blade into the top of his head and plugs that bad boy in for a super unique and memorable kill, straight up pureeing Felix's
with a
skull and
blender?
brain beads. Who wants a Felix shake? Before Z can properly recover from her partial asphyxiation, Aaron takes the knife out of her back and, with extra points for flourish, slams it into the top of Z's skull.
That'll do it.
Finally ridding herself herself of these shitty entitled brats once and for all. Hey, at least the knife handle is black, see? It still kind of goes with your whole aesthetic. With Erin's safety finally guaranteed, she takes a well-deserved breather between the two corpses. Erin sees Felix's
How do you explain this?
and answers it without saying a word. On the other end is Crispin, who asks if the job is over yet and apologizes for leaving earlier, saying he's not good with blood and couldn't handle it when shit started to get real. So yeah, turns out Crispin was in on it too. Another fun little twist.
Wait,
silence
what?
Is just Felix being pissed, so he comes back inside through the window to see
Is she
what's
gonna
going
have
on.
to-
Erin confronts him outright, and when he asks where Felix is, she tells him.
I stuck a blender in his head and killed him.
Oh. Okay.
He
How
seems
else
cool
do you
with that because now
respond to
he'll get
that?
all the inheritance. He assures Erin that they never meant to kill her because she would be the witness who could attest to everything that happened. But then she just had to go and mess it up.
How are we supposed to know that you were really good at killing people?
He
Yeah,
promises her
that's
a well-off
fair.
life together, free of student loan debt. But
Very
she's not
well
sold,
off.
and stabs him in the neck with a knife. He looks up at her with his whiny little frowny face, and she stabs him once more, right in the eye, for another gnarly kill in this bloodtastic movie. Immediately after Crispin's down, Erin gets shot. Turns out the cops finally got her message and showed up to the house. But she's still alive and tries to yell for the cop not to come inside. But it's too late. He trips the trap
Oh,
and an axe
no.
swings down for the last
Why
part
did
of
I
the movie.
think-
The internet is telling me the cop's name is Officer Trubiano, and since the internet never lies, I'll just go with it. His death is off screen. So
When she set that up, I was immediately thinking,
before rolling credits to a cover
like,
of
what's gonna
Look for
happen,
Magic. Now, obviously,
like,
I'm
if
a
the
huge
cops
fan
show
of this
up.
movie, and hopefully it has enough to satisfy everyone, even those of you who are here mostly for high body counts, because there were plenty of bodies to count. How many? Let's
14?
find out. Get to the numbers.
But there was what, 14? Probably an even
It's
split.
this way. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well,
15 people
Oh,
died.
15.
in
Oh,
attacks.
including the cop.
Literally every single character in the movie besides Erin, who actually claimed half the kills. Of the victims, 10 were men and 5 were women, meaning twice as many dudes got killed as ladies. With a runtime of 94 minutes, we wound up with a kill on average every 6.27 minutes, a pretty speedy rate. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Felix. So many kills were gory,
A
but
blender?
this one was the most unique. And you know what? Fuck Felix. Dull machete for
Fair.
lamest kill will go to the movie's first kill, Talia, who was killed off screen in a way that I can't even fully make out. And
Yeah,
that's
you don't
it.
even know
Your
how.
Next was released in 2011 and received mostly positive critical acclaim.
Okay.
No sequel to this one, so next week
Oh,
we'll
there's no
watch The Mist,
sequel?
which a lot of you have requested.
The
So get ready
Mist,
for that.
which
Until
I've
then,
seen
I'm James
Nostalgia
A.
Case video on
It's
it.
been the Kill Count. Hey everybody, thanks a lot for watching my Kill Count on Your Next. I want to thank some of my patrons like Nikki
This
Schoen,
is
Mario
actually
Bedoya,
probably a
Paul
movie I would have
Martell. You guys like
enjoyed.
what I got going on over here? We got a little blender, a little meat tenderizer, gonna tenderize your skull. Just kidding. Next week is The Mist, and if you haven't seen that, I really think you should watch it before.
I kinda
watching
wish
Kill
I
Count. In any
watched
case,
this
though,
movie
thank
first.
You so much for watching. This
I
is
kinda
a very
do.
exciting 6 months.
Because that wasn't even like that scary. Like, there were jump scares and whatnot, but it was like a survival kind of deal. It's not meant to be like, God, I don't know. Like Hereditary messed me up real bad. I'm watching Midsummer right now, which is by the same director as Hereditary. Yeah, no, I can't look up at a dark corner of the ceiling without thinking of Hereditary. If you haven't seen Hereditary, you probably have. It's a really good movie. I would definitely recommend watching it. My girlfriend loves scary movies and loves making me watch them because she loves seeing my reaction to scary movies. So that's how you know these reactions are genuine, because she likes watching my reaction to scary movies that she's already seen. So this was Your Next. I actually kind of enjoyed this, and I maybe would have enjoyed this movie actually if I watched it before the kill count. Maybe I'll have to watch it in full, but it probably won't hit the same. Maybe I would, knowing the twist and who's in on it, and maybe I'll be able to pick up on it, like the clear signs that you don't know until you rewatch it a second time. But this is really good. I look forward to the next one, which is going to be The Mist. It'll be out next week. Patrons get a day early. Hope you have a wonderful rest today. I hope I made it a tiny little bit better. But until next video, take care and keep the music.